City of Stevens Point Transportation Commission meeting, recorded June 9, 2025.
So, meeting started, and we'll take roll call first, Tom.
Okay, so roll call. Carolyn Peterson,
Here.
Nicole Lisney,
Here.
Tom Bertram. Present. Alder Burr,
Here.
Alder Guthrie,
Here.
Neil Prendergast,
Here.
and Heidi Oberstadt.
Here.
Okay. All right, so that takes us to, item number 2, which is approval of the April 14, 2025 minutes. If anybody has any questions or adjustments.
I'll just note that Alder Shuda and Alder Burr are represented differently in title on the notes as I read them, and we might correct that.
Yeah, I can correct that with the minutes.
Tom Bertram will move to approve with the slight change.
I'll second. So motion and a second. Any further questions? Okay, hearing none, we'll take the motion to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. That'll take us to agenda item number 3, approval of the April and May 2025 claims report. Okay.
Are we at where we're roughly should be spending wise?
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing out of the ordinary from any of these charges?
Nope, nothing not expected on these. Yeah, we're doing good.
And move to approve. Motion.
I will second.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, we'll take the motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Before we go to the next agenda items, Tom suggested maybe we do introductions since we have a new member here today. So,
Thank you.
yeah. Normally I remember to do that, but I must have been in a rush today. So, I'm Nicole Lisney. I've been the chairperson for many years. I did a stint where I wasn't, but I've been with the commission for a long time. So my name's on the plaque out there when we built this place. I was the chairperson. So yeah, so long time. We built in 2009.
2013 is when we moved in.
Okay. Yeah. So it used ARA funding though, so that's why I always think it was 2009, which was the beginning of the ARA funding. So yeah. So I work for the Department of Transportation. I'm a civil engineer. So oversee roadways and bridges. But I got on this because one of the mayors was looking for somebody, and one of the ex-alder persons, and I've been here forever. So. And I love it. But I like that we're doing good things for the people of City of Stevens Point and surrounding communities now. So, want to go next?
Tom Bertram, he, him, his, and I know you from the different worlds, but so I've been on the commission about 2 months less than Carolyn, and started in 2014. I was going through leadership Portage County, and the government day spoke to me, and so I said, how can I get involved? And so there was an opening on the Transportation Commission, and so I jumped on in 2014, December-ish. And so, but in my day job, my real-time world, I am administrative HR coordinator in the HR office at UW Stevens Point. I love that job, and I've been in there for 11 years now.
And we love you in that job.
I I've written contracts for half of you.
I'm Carolyn Peterson. I work at Mid-State Independent Living Choices, and I am on several transportation committees in the city and the county. And I've been on this commission 11 years, 10 years. About 2 months longer than Tom. And at the time, Susan, who was director,
Manager at the time.
manager, she called me and asked if I'd be on it. Then,
Rest is history.
And I'm Talon Shireman, the transportation superintendent. I've been here with the city for over 6 years. Started in dispatch. We all like to explain why I got into transit, but we all kind of just find our way to transit in some transient type of way, but really love transit and what we do for our community. So if there's any transportation questions you have, we do the city transportation. We also operate all of the county's public transportation services. So yeah, if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Tom Carroll, I am the operations superintendent. Going on, I hit 27 years in March, so definitely had a chance to see a little bit of everything with the system, and so it's been fun watching the changes and watching it grow. And so I've liked where it, when you saw where it began and to where we're at now, it's huge strides, especially with the new facility and everything else. But that's really been that from that point on, it really took off. I mean, but you had the university come on board when, you know, it was just a small system when I first started in '98, and it's grown quite a bit. But I love the idea now that we're going countywide, and I love the idea that it's getting a lot more exposure, I think, and we work well with other departments now, and so I like a lot of the things that Transit's brought to the city. And yeah, it's great to see that the community, I mean, when you see the people that are using the services and being able to hear their stories, it's been really nice. And glad to see it. And I would say with our commission that we've always had a really good, strong commission. It's been fun. But they've been great supporters of the system, which I've really been fortunate to be part of that as well.
Okay. Maybe you want to go next?
Can I go next?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I had a little trouble hearing that last bit, but I'm catching everything else. So Jackie, I think you know me from the 4th floor of the Collins Classroom building. And it's my 2nd term on the commission, and it's a lot of fun because you actually get to learn how local government cooperating with other local governments can actually work really well. And it's just really neat to see that. Today I'm enjoying Interstate 80, which is, I would say, a bit more of a mess. But it's been fun to serve so far.
I can go next. I don't know who else is waiting, but I'm Heidi Oberstadt. I'm at home recovering from major femur surgery 5 weeks ago, so I'm in my super cool lift chair in my living room. I really like being on this commission. I'm a former alderperson, so this is a little bit different change of pace, and but I couldn't stay away from helping the city for long. Of course, I was out for a couple of years with a new baby, and then dipping my toe back in with you guys. I teach in communication and in business at the university. So that's how I was joking about Tom with my contract. We love him over there in HR. And I own a communication consulting firm where I work with folks putting together marketing and advertising for small organizations. So yeah, I'm excited. I love being on this commission. I can't wait to be able to be back in person with you guys and not on crutches or a scooter. It'll be great.
Great, thanks. And Allison, are you out there?
Came off of mute for a second.
No.
Yeah. We're not hearing you, Allison. Give it another try.
Oh, still can't hear me?
Now we got you.
Okay, perfect. Allison Burr, District 5 Alder, recycling coordinator for Wapaka County, my day job. And this is my third term serving on Transportation Committee.
Awesome.
I think I'm the only one left. Yes? Okay, hi folks, my name is Jackie Guthrie. I use she, her pronouns. I coordinate career services at the university in my day job. I fly fish a lot in the weekend world, which is why Heidi and I have bumped into each other. We're sometimes the only females at Trouts Unlimited and other events like that. Woo! I'm going to show you fish pictures later. And I was elected to be the District 2 alderperson just a year ago. So I'm a month into my second year of my first term, so very new to local government and being involved, and delighted to serve on this commission. I have a lot of experience volunteering with the refugee agency in central Wisconsin, who, you know, as they're onboarding new folks to central Wisconsin, teaching them how to get around before they have driver's licenses and own cars is a big part of the volunteer mission. I'm excited to have one more angle to learn about how to serve the community, be a part of making decisions.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so that takes us to number 4, which is nomination and election of Transportation Commission chairperson. So, we'll open it for nomination.
I nominate Nicole Lindsay for chair. Practice in my
Second.
speech, and I still.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay. I'm trying to remember how we do this. We just take a vote, correct? Okay. All those in favor of Nicole Levine?
Do you accept?
Yes, I do. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carried, or election carried.
Congratulations.
Yay.
All right. So then that takes us to agenda item number 5, which is a nomination and election of the Transportation Commission Vice Chairperson. Tom?
I'm going to nominate Neil Prendergast as the vice chairperson.
Oh. Okay. Do we have any further
Second. Does it need to be seconded?
No, usually it's just okay.
So usually we do a nomination and someone seconds the nomination, and then we'll call up to 3 times for a nomination if there's, you know, any.
You should get a cheat sheet.
Second nomination. Yeah.
I can second it if you're still looking for a second.
Nominates Neil, and the question is, does Neil accept the nomination?
Yeah, I accept. That's fine. Thanks.
Okay. All right, so then I have to call it 3 more times?
Or, yeah, see if there's any other nominations.
All right, any further nominations for vice chairperson? Okay, hearing none, I will take the motion to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, motion carried. Carolyn gets the year off.
Congratulations.
She'll step up. What? I said, you get the year off.
Yay.
a
All
great
right.
couple of years.
Yeah. All right, so that'll take us to the next agenda item, which is, updates, staffing, funding, and downtown planning, so.
Yeah, so, and I wanted to do this before our next agenda item, because maybe it can provide some context, but I've kind of jumbled around. Want to start with our, some of the stuff that's happened with the downtown planning. There's been some public meetings, if you guys have been involved in them, but I can kind of go over just a little bit of the feedback that we received in planning for our downtown transfer center, and just some of the notes that I've got. Some concerns around the facility are raised primarily around two topics, and that's homelessness and ridership service times. So, some of the comments about ridership service times are the frequency of the routes, and then the how late our routes go into the day, nights, and weekend services, which we definitely realize our gaps in our services, and trying to do as much as we can with our resources that we do with our timed routes, but not being able to provide multiple buses on routes. But that's primarily what the comments were about. People have some concerns providing different amenities downtown. From a transit perspective and from a staffing perspective, I've never seen that as much of an issue for transit, because we're moving people, we're constantly at our transfer center every half an hour. So a question I get, when it's like, hey, we want to put some more amenities downtown for our transfer area. Like, well, what are we going to do about the unhoused population? Are there issues? And I mean, it's not, oh no, we never have issues with people loitering downtown or doing different things, but it's not a big forward-facing issue for us from transit, just because we're there so consistently, and we can kind of keep things moving along and get people where they need to go. So since we're serving a purpose, it's not like, oh, this is an issue that's going to prohibit us from giving service. And we're just trying to make things as good as they can for everybody that's riding our service. Regarding the structure itself, the most common favored structure was more of an open air structure. Some mentioned that, some mentioned restrooms, some mentioned vending machines, bicycle parking, some different things like that. And then obviously there's kind of a want for more transportation-oriented businesses around there, like pharmacies or small retail, things like that. Was just some of the feedback that we received going into those meetings. Getting into some of my other updates, I got a couple things from a funding perspective. Nicole, you had asked, I got a email from you, somebody reached out with concerns about our volunteer program, and that is run through 5310 federal funding. It's for seniors, funding specifically for seniors and people with disabilities, and that funding has not decreased the amount that it's coming to our state, but more and more people are applying for it every year. So areas like ours with stronger public transportation systems are seeing that funding shift to areas without any other transportation options, and we definitely saw that this year. But we were able to work with some people at WSDOT to move some of our programs like mobility management to get funded under a different funding source, and use some of our other rural and senior transportation funding to fund that. But we are still seeing that funding go away for our area. So there are concerns about that program long-term. That program brings seniors to appointments in like Marshfield Clinic, all residents of Portage County, but Wausau, Marshfield Clinic, Madison, Milwaukee. But we've seen less and less volunteers in that program, less and less riders in that program. So some of that, like the funding's gotten less and less, but the ridership post-COVID has also gotten less and less. So it's kind of followed that trajectory. But we have where we had 30 volunteers before, we have less than 10 volunteers, and that number just continues to dwindle. So it is a concern, and it is a need that we want to see filled in our community. Right now, we're operating at kind of status quo, and it'll be kind of year to year, and we'll continue to go after those competitive funds as that need grows, and we'll kind of just see where it goes from there. But, you know, a lot of focus on making our bus service, our countywide bus service, as good as it can be. So where we rely on volunteers, we can rely on our bus service. The other funding thing that I wanted to bring up is state budgeting is going on right now. And we've seen a lot of discussion and a lot of talk from the state budget level about mass transit aids for Tier C systems, which that's what we are. We're one of the biggest Tier C systems, which is a rural system in the state. And what's happened is there are 5 Tier B systems that are getting reclassified as Tier C systems. Tier C systems then will have to absorb that portion of our state funding to continue operating, which will cut our state portion of our funding by half. So one was an issue that I kind of want to bring up to us locally so people can be aware of it as people are asking you questions from the state and like what's going on. There is an issue here. I do know our elected officials at the state level and the people who need to know about it have been informed and do know about it. And as much like negativity as we see around state budgeting and stalemates and different things, like they are aware of this issue and they do want to address it. They don't want to see services cut, but who knows where the state budgeting is going to go from there. So that's something that is coming up for 2026 that I hope I have news for you. This wasn't an issue at all. Our state budgeting is just fine, but there is money that they have to invest back in Tier C to fill that gap. And then I can get into our staffing, unless there's any other questions.
I have a question
Yeah.
about 5310. Why do you think, it's just a opinion question I guess, why do you think that there's more people applying for it? Is there new startup things?
No, I just think more communities have gotten more and more aware of it.
Oh.
Like, I think Stephen's point, you know, and I'm thankful to my predecessor, Susan, like she could find funding anywhere. So Stephen's point was very early on to the game. So the 5310 funding was very good there. And you just saw over the years, it stepped down to where we are now with it. So our staffing, our senior most driver in seniority is retiring this year after 25 years of transit service. We did have 3 applicants for her position, so we did choose an applicant, and we are bringing a new driver in, so we're going to fill that role. So that's, you know, that's good, and it seemed like we had all qualified candidates for it, so that's a good sign for staffing going forward. But this driver, Bobby is her name, she's just been a pillar of our transit system and driving for 25 years, and everybody around town knows her as the bus driver, so it was kind of a big deal for her to make that decision and retire. So we want to definitely wish her the best, and that will kind of lead us into next item on our agenda, and I can explain that a little more as we get into it. That's what I have.
Okay, any further questions for Talon on staffing, funding, or the downtown planning? Okay, hearing none, then we'll, move into the next agenda item, which is approval to provide lifelong bus passes to employees retiring with a minimum of 20 years of service.
Mhm. So this is more, our director asked me about this motion, and I said, well, it's more sentimental than operational. So, most of our bus drivers, as they retire, don't want a bus pass. They rather never see a bus again. They want to, but, in this case, I think it'd be really meaningful to Bobby to get her a bus pass, and I want to do that in the right way, in a way that's compliant with our federal guidelines. So I kind of have to have a general motion that's inclusive from the committee, and this is what or the commission, and this is what I came up with, that any of our drivers retiring over 20 years, we can issue them a lifelong bus pass.
How many do we have that work?
That, we only had, I think that I can recall about 2 other drivers that's ever hit the 20-year mark.
What's an annual bus pass cost for a general person?
So it's $25 a month.
A month,
A month.
so $300 a year.
Mhm.
Okay.
May I ask a clarifying question?
Yes.
So this is a proposal only for staff of community transit,
Yes, of Central Transportation.
not of all staff of the city of Stevens Point?
Correct.
Okay, and can you talk to me about the ethics of providing that benefit that would not be available to folks from other units across the city upon retirement with more than 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think as a gesture for their time driving the bus and providing the specific service, just to be able to, for the service, which does provide that for current employees to say, kind of, you're going to be grandfathered into that benefit in your retirement. No,
The bus drivers currently receive, oh,
yes,
okay.
as current
Oh, thank you.
employees,
Okay.
they do receive.
The bus drivers do, but other staff do not.
Other city staff do not. Any
Transit.
transit staff does ride on the fixed route buses for free.
Which is good, because then they can see how it's operating.
I just didn't realize that was a benefit of
I guess
employment. I'm on the personnel
I didn't
committee
know
and
that.
hadn't heard that.
Yeah, I think it's great for, like, in December, we provide free rides in December, sometimes in November.
Friday.
Yeah, on Fridays. And I always recommend that our new alders, ride the bus on Friday to see how it operates. Then you get to ride it for free. I mean, you can ride it other times and pay for it, but kind of a great opportunity to see how it operates and see how great our drivers are, because they're really managing people. It's really cool to watch them interact with people. Yeah.
So it'd be a continuation of the work that they have while employed.
Correct. Yeah.
That may never get
Yeah.
I have moved to approve it.
Have a motion?
Oh, a motion. I'll,
Okay.
there's no.
Yep, no, that's good. I was just waiting to see if there was a second.
Oh, okay.
I'll second if we're looking for a second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. So is there any further discussion or question? Okay, we'll take the motion to vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? No. Motion still carries. Okay. All right, so it takes us to the next agenda item, which is the next meeting date. So, Monday, July 14th at 5 o'clock. And that takes us to adjournment.
I motion.
We motion to adjourn in this committee?
We really-
No, oh, I messed up. Okay, well,
No.
we just.
Just cut it down.
A video of this meeting is available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.